So my name is Patty Scallon. I am a mind-body healer. In my experience, our emotions, our physicality, everything plays together. It's never just one thing. And one of the things that I thought of recently is, when we were young, we all had a dream on what our life was going to look like. We were going to be successful, have a great career, have a wonderful, loving relationship, all these things. So I would ask you if your life today fits that dream. Does it match up to what you thought it was going to be? And if it doesn't, then it is time to start investigating into why that isn't. And my program, Energy Discovery and Release Healing, is about going back to finding out where those limiting beliefs came into play, or where do we take on wounds that have changed who we are. So the first step of our process is to find out what your true nature is, who you were born to be. And there are 4 different energy types, and that's something we can go into later. The next step is to visit that inner child and find out what happened back in our childhood that caused us to take on wounds or limiting beliefs. And a lot of people think, wow, I had a nice childhood. There's really nothing there. Some people have very traumatic and trauma in their childhood that you can go, oh, yep, there it is. But then there are some that had, I had a nice childhood. But the truth is, that can be just something as small as when you were 6 years old and, you might have been a little bit chunky and your mother said to you, yeah, well, that's just how our family is. We're never going to be skinny. And that took hold as a 6-year-old. So here we are as an adult and we're struggling like, why? Well, because in the back of our head, we just believe that that's just how our family is. We're just all meant to be like that. So I'm saying it doesn't have to be something major. It can be something that just implanted that. And then there are those wounds. So the process that I use incorporates meridian tapping, energy psychology, intuitive insight, energy medicine. So where we learn how to use the energies in our body to bring these to surface, tap them out, release them, and then put in the positive thoughts that will begin to change your life. Once you find out what your true nature is and you step into that, that's where the power is. Because here's a process, and I won't keep it too much longer. Just to give you an idea, is you may have been a type 3, which is a very gregarious type of person, a child, very inquisitive, take toys apart, want to be outside running around, never came into dinner on time. And you're being raised by maybe a mother who would be a type 4, which was more reserved and calm or whatever. And so you had a mother who was kind of taking you by the arm saying, settle down, stop that, settle down. So to please your mother, you stepped into your secondary nature, which may have been a 4 or 2, a quieter type person. So you grew up trying to please your mother, not being true to who your true nature is. So now as an adult, you are functioning in your second nature. You are functioning as, for instance, an introvert rather than an extrovert. And that's not to say one is better, because when you're standing in your power, it doesn't matter whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. When you're standing in your power, you're going to be successful. It's when you're being somebody that you really were not meant to be is where you're going to find out that your relationships are much harder than you thought, or your career hasn't gotten to where you thought it would be, all those type of things. So having said that, then I also believe that our physical body plays a big part. Now that's the kind of thing is like, which comes first, the chicken or the egg, because you feel like, well, I just don't feel good, so I'm depressed. I would say that you were depressed, so your body is responding to that, and it is not well. So you really have to address both things. With my enzyme therapy, it's built into this program because I believe that we need to look at our diet and our digestion and our elimination and get our body functioning, and then the energy, it just all works together. It just all works together. So what I do is I do offer a 30-minute session to come in where we can talk about this. I can explain the process and see if it's something you're interested in. Then I have a 6-session process, because this is a very quick and dynamic process. It's, like you can go for cognitive therapy for 2 years and not accomplish what we could accomplish in 6 sessions if you're really ready to change. And that is the key. You have to be ready to change. So I do have a 6 appointment package. However, we do the first appointment, and then after that, then you make a decision whether you want to be full in or not. Because I would say this is not a process for those that are just curious. This is not something that I would want to say, well, maybe I'll give this a try. This has to be something that you really want to be ready to shift your life and move into achieving the desires that you have.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Excellent. Awesome.